I think at this point what we want to do is we want to talk about, we've been talking about everything in Emergence is about energy fields. You're not quote, quote, treating their liver. You're not treating their liver. You're not treating anything. You're not treating anything, really. You're working in the realm of the energy field. And as long as you can get yourself to that place, it's trickle down when the energy field, and you're not even doing it to the energy field. It's the energy field becoming more aware of itself, discarding this and coming into that. It's always about field and in. Dr. Mortar talked about that nothing happens in the physical body or in physicality. Hawkins talks about this. Nothing happens in physicality unless it already happened in the energy field. So let's just talk about quantum physics a bit, okay? When we're working with people, and we address this in Emergence, is that we're working on both realms. We're working on the linear and the non-linear realm. The linear realm is atoms and above, and that's where Newtonian physics talks about. It's very linear, and we can measure it, and we can document it, and it's atoms and above. And that's how we build architecture, and we go to the moon. It's linear, and it's atoms and above. And you have to deal with that because people have bodies and people have jobs and they have relationships. But then there's another part of human beings, and that would be more left brain types of stuff. But there's another part of human beings that's more right brain. It's more intuitive. It's more in the quantum realm. And in the quantum realm, it's atoms and below. And then there's that intersection, how it's flowing, right? So when we get into quantum physics, we talk about the observer, right? And then you can get into the experiments that they've done, but everything in existence exists really in two forms. It exists in the wave form, and we can get into, how big is the wave and the frequency of the waves. So it's the height, the amplitude, the frequency of the waves. Things are faster, they're slower, they can be measured in hertz. See, Hertz is the one who started to measure waves, and then you see that Rife measured all the cells of the body, and so all the cells are vibrating, and that's where the Rife machine comes in. Tesla started to do this thing where you could vibrate a bit, you could make vibration, and the bridge could collapse. So we're talking about everything in physicality is in the wave form or it's in a particle form. Does that make sense? When it's in the wave form, it's an infinite potentiality. It's infinite. So this is what's mind-blowing. Let's look at Dr. Hawkins' chart. Just take out your levels of consciousness chart. Let's just look at and keep in mind infinite potentiality. The levels of consciousness, let's just go to guilt, which is between 30, a log of 30, and a log of 50. That is a non-personal energy field. We used to think it was personal to me. No, your ego just makes it personal. Like it's my guilt. It's my grief. But it's really not personal. It's something that happened in the life, but it's really not yours because it's a non-personal energy field. You can deal with it, but it's not personal. And by making it personal, we make it more difficult, right? Because we identify with that event. That event is not you. That sensation isn't you. That emotion, that energy isn't you. You're much more larger than that, right? But let's just talk about the infinite field of potentiality of guilt. It's infinite out there. But if I pay attention to it, if I put my intention on it, my attention on it, and I do it frequent enough, then I'm going to collapse that infinite wave of guilt, and it's going to become a particle, and it's going to get more solid, and it's going to get more solid, and then something's going to happen in my life, come into my life, and I'm going to have the emotion of blame about it. It's all my fault. Does that make sense so far? And so then once it comes into actuality, it'll dissipate. It'll go right back into a waveform. So what I'm saying is based upon your intention, the power of your free will, you get to decide what waves you're collapsing and bringing into actuality in your life. Does that make sense so far? This is goal setting. Dr. Mortar helped us with goal setting. Dr. Hawkins said, you want a $5,000 goal setting class? Here it is. What put your mind on with repetition tends to happen in your life, tends to appear in your life. So let's just look at the level of consciousness of joy, which is 540. So there's an infinite potentiality of joy, and how joy can manifest itself in your life, because the wave is infinite. You collapse the wave, and one time, a flower, you look at a flower and you just go into joy, or somebody calls you up on a phone and you just feel joy, or something happens like it was just recently. Somebody sent me a picture of a bicycle. It's basically a $10,000 bicycle, and he wants to know if I want to buy it for a very, 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 very reduced price, $3,000, brand new bicycle, only 500 miles on it. So you collapse that into it's infinite how it comes into your life. Does that make sense? So you choose what you put your intention on. You choose your intention, and you put what you pay attention to. Intention, attention. What do you put your attention on? Now here's the powerful thing. This is what Joseph's talking about, Dr. Hawkins talked about. It's the intensity of the intention, and it's the repetition. Does that make sense? Now our brains want to get scattered. We say we want to focus my intention and attention on such and such, but then I get pulled in 1,000 different directions. That's the power of the treatment, the self-treatment, the meditation, the letting go processes. So you let go of that stuff, so where you continually vibrate with your intention and attention. As your level of consciousness opens up, the intensity of your attention becomes greater and greater and greater and greater. And that's why as the level of consciousness goes up, not that I'm trying to make my level of consciousness go up, because then you're caught in an outcome, which is that you're in a dualistic outcome, win, lose, gain, loss. I've got to get to a level of, because I want it. Why do you want that? Because I want gain. Now you're in duality, right? Gain, loss. No, I'm just letting go of this or that, embracing this or that, because it honors who I am. It honors that person. It serves the greater good. It's not that I need, because you really don't need anything. There is no neediness. So as you put your intention and your level of consciousness is opening up, with repetition, like, things manifest almost immediately, according to as factors are favorable. Because I've been doing some other goal putting I have a vision board. It's on my vision board, and the bicycle came before something else. And I'm like, why did that happen before something else? I have no idea, and it doesn't really matter how it manifests. So the wave of infinite potentiality will collapse into a particle, which will build into solid, and it'll be right in your life. And it's because we put our intention and attention on it with repetition. And that is the law of attraction. How I respond to life is what I request of life. So if I respond to life with peace, joy, and love, even if it's difficult at times, even if it challenges me, even if I totally freak out, like I'm responding from peace, joy, and love, that's my intention, but my shoulders are up here. Now I know I'm not totally in peace, joy, and love, but I'm intending this. I'm intending. And the next time my shoulders will be a little less, and the next time my shoulders will be a little less, and after a while, there's no gut, not in my gut. Does that make sense? So your intention, your attention collapses the infinite field of potentiality into actuality. Thank you. So that's